What's up, guys? My name is Kaylee Law, and this is what I feel is what you need to know to have a basic knowledge on how to survive as a victim in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn something from it too. Okay, let's get into the video. So, to the start, I want to say avoid being loud, especially when it comes to getting off the hook. If your bar is full and red and your character has the red aura around you, you are being too loud and you need to stop and wait for the bar to go down and continue. Try to keep that bar as low as possible because noise will wake up Grandpa quicker. You wake up Grandpa quicker, the other killers other than Bubba can come downstairs earlier before you even have chance to get out of the basement, and that can really mess you up early game. So keep as quiet as possible. Try to avoid banging doors, try to avoid running past the chickens, try to avoid rustling through anything loudly, and really think about how much noise you are making. You get like cues for it, so you can see what you do and don't need to do. So always keep that in mind because that can mess up your game early on. You're off the hook. Now what? Okay, so what I personally have found from playing this game is it's best to try and get yourself an item or regroup as soon as possible. It's easiest to look for a toolkit, and normally, for me personally, if I'm going for a toolkit, I try to get 2 if I can, as long as there isn't a killer or anything around that's going to make it impossible for me to do so. Otherwise, stock up on healing items and anything you can. The most important thing, though, I do find is toolkits. You can get other items, so you can get bone scraps, so you can stab the chickens, you can stab the other killers, and things like that. But once again, I honestly feel the most powerful items are the toolkits. Let's talk about Grandpa, shall we? So, Grandpa, there are a few ways to wake him up, and that can either be done by the killers collecting all the blood, so he gets to tier 1 early. That could be from a survivor getting killed in basement by Bubba before anyone's got out. That'll wake him up. Opening the door in the basement will wake him up. Or survivors being loud. If they're too loud early on, wakes him up. As soon as he's awake, they can come downstairs and that can be an issue. So you want to try and keep Grandpa asleep for as long as possible if you can. And I really do recommend just trying when the aura and Grandpa searches for you, so when he gets level 2, 3, 4, keep still when it goes off, because otherwise they're all going to see where you are and you're going to get hunted down. So for your own safety, it's best to just keep still when that happens until it's over and continue on. Let's talk basics of the basement. So you have little entryways you can go through that you have to open, which once again, you need to do them quietly. They're always worth opening because then you have other escape routes, especially in the basement. It's very worthwhile doing. You also have doors where you have the option where you can latch them. So if you latch them, then the killers aren't going to be able to get at you as quickly. So it's just 2 good things to keep in mind. Survivor perks can actually assist with helping you find your way out of the basement, to help you find the valve to the canister. It will come up highlighted for you, and there is also a perk which highlights the doors for you or any exit gates that have been opened for a period of time. So the survivor perks can actually assist you in finding where you need to go, so it's easier to try and attempt the valve exit with one of these perks. That's why I quite like it. I tend to run this perk, find the valve, get out that way. But obviously there are other perks which will assist with other ways of escaping. So it's worth looking at the loadout, what you kind of like, and thinking what will work for you as a player. So you need to take this into account when it comes to it, because it's not always as simple as just jumping out a window and making an escape. Once opened, none of the exit ways will stay permanently opened. The valve exit and the fuse box exit do have a time limit before they can close, either automatically or by the killers themselves. And with the front/back slash side gates, you do have the issue that the killers can relock the fences and they can re-electrocute the fence as well, so it can be difficult. It's best to try and get people out as quickly as you can, as safely as you can, with as many people as possible. It is easier said than done, I know, but it's worth keeping in mind these are not all permanent, and if you try to do the fuse box or the valve exit, you have to do it within a quick time frame because you do not have long to get anywhere. Front and back exits require a few toolkits to get there. Maybe even more if the family have a cook, as one of his abilities is he can add extra locks to doors. So the front and the back, anything like that, he can add an extra lock, so you use up double the amount of toolkits. So keep that in mind, as there are other toolkit areas where you can grab another toolkit, but it can take it longer, which could mean on certain maps that it is easier to go for the other exits. The front, back slash side exits will also have the car batteries, which you need to turn off to be able to get out. If it is green, then it is safe. If it is red, then that is on and you need to turn the battery off to get out. Keep in mind, you can also turn the batteries on as a survivor. I have done that and it was a very stupid thing to do. So you've got to keep in mind that you have to try and do this. There are extra elements, so if you go for these exits, I recommend being as stealthy as possible. I've mentioned being stealthy multiple times already, and there's good reasoning for that. Being able to avoid Grandpa's detection, being able to avoid the other killers, being able to hide in things is so important. The bushes when you get outside are fantastic. You have the lockers when you're inside or in the basement, but be aware characters like Sissy can also hide in those and surprise you. You need to try and run the killers if you can, and try and get away as quick as possible. So try and use what is there as a survivor to your benefit. So the small gaps, you can get through those. There are vaults. There are, like I said, things to hide. You've got the doors. You can try and lose them. Use the small little entryways to crawl through and go from there. It isn't the easiest thing to say to just be like, oh, be a selfie. But that is the best thing to do. Try and use the bushes, anything that will somewhat hide your character to the best of your ability, and see how well you can go from there. If you're out the basement and you're finding it impossible to lose whatever killer is chasing you, be it Hitchhiker, be it Sissy, be it Johnny, be it Cook, if you're finding it impossible for them to lose you, don't be scared to jump in the well, go back to basement, reset with healing items, and gather any extra things you can to get yourself in a better place, and get yourself back up and retry to go back to where you were, wherever you were trying to escape, whatever look you were trying to pick, wherever you were trying to get to. Don't be scared to go back and try again. There's nothing wrong with having to go back into the basement to get away from the killers and reset. It's actually a really good idea, because then they don't know where you are again, and it's an easier way for you to be able to get yourself back up to full strength and try and make that escape attempt from wherever you're trying to go from. I think for me, the most important thing of all is don't give up. Sounds so cliche and stupid, I know, but you can really come back in these games with a lot of patience and a little bit of knowledge of how to get to where you're trying to go to. Don't give up straight away. Even if you're the last survivor left, doesn't mean the killers are going to necessarily find you, and you might be able to make a solo exit so they don't get completely 4 victim kills. So just keep trying, be patient, get items, and just try your absolute best. If you can try and get out just by yourself, then that's an absolute win. Okay, and that's the end of the video. I hope you all learned something. I hope it was really helpful, and have fun out there, guys. I hope this helps you survive a little bit longer, and maybe you learned something you didn't know. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if you want to check out any TCM content, then I will be streaming it on Twitch constantly because I adore this game. And yeah, like and subscribe. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.